right, now we're in part 3 of talking about TikTok's potential impact on mental health for teens in the US, as discussed in an article by The Guardian. And this time we're talking about the pandemic's role in some of the shifts and what the effect of it might have been on TikTok users. Let's get into it. Yin Register, which is a really cool name, that belongs to a researcher in mental health and social media, discusses how when the pandemic hit and people were on TikTok posting how COVID-19 has upended their lives, giving people an opportunity to see other people's lives and to bond, it resulted in a very young user base taking the platform and using it to connect with one another during a very vulnerable time, which a lot of us can attest to. One of the largest effects of the pandemic, they say, is uncertainty. And when we are uncertain, our brains do whatever they can to make them less uncertain. And under uncertainty, our brains want to reduce it and make sense of the world. Can relate. And Register says that in turn, people turn to social media to collectively make sense of things. And they also say that it contributes to TikTok's unique platform spirit, a new term that is coined by a researcher to characterize the nature of content and communication on an app. And the researcher states that the platform spirit of TikTok seems to be about posting very loudly about very intimate and intense things, which I would say is pretty accurate. I mean, a lot of us have seen, those TikToks of things that maybe people shouldn't necessarily be posting or sharing with so many people, but inevitably, and maybe in turn, blow up. And the article goes on to say that this has led to viral videos using wry, ironic tones to share often pretty devastating stories, putting music and dancing on top of quotes or experiences that are pretty difficult and very, very personal. And this all seems to contribute to the nature of the app, which is deeply, deeply personal. People posting things that are incredibly vulnerable and, as one user states, trauma dumping that people may deeply regret in the future. And the user goes on to ask the question that I do not know the answer to, which is, what is it about TikTok that drives people to reveal their deepest, dirtiest secrets? I have my own theories about attention, connection, especially with the algorithm that promotes such extreme and attention-grabbing content. And experts who are weighing in say that while these kinds of videos can offer support and a creative way to deal with grief, it can also lead to additional trauma. Man, this is unpacking and unfolding a lot. A children's mental health expert discusses the difference between disclosing information about your mental health online versus in a space dedicated to supporting people's mental health, saying that in clinical work, there are systems put in place in case a disclosure occurs, whereas on the internet, there is no such thing. And of course, the anonymity of TikTok, with people being able to comment without their identities attached, doesn't necessarily help this cause either. Whereas other apps like Facebook or Instagram generally have personal content and your identity attached to it or your profile. And ultimately, mental health and social media researcher Register, again, such a cool last name, states that there are serious consequences of going viral. And when it comes to social media, poses a question, which is not how social media affects your mental health, but rather how mental health issues you already have get exacerbated by social media's design. And while all of this is going on, TikTok's algorithm is starting to be opened up. Earlier this year, Chinese regulators required TikTok to open up its platform, its algorithms for review. And at the same time, Oracle has been auditing its content moderation tools. At the same time, TikTok has for a while been putting out different measures to promote kindness, like allowing users to easily filter spam or offensive comments, and implementing a pop-up for potentially violating comments, asking a user to reconsider. It suggested that legislators need to put in more resources in really understanding the relationship of human nature and the interface of these platforms, specifically TikTok. And that we just need more information about how we can approach helping young people make informed decisions about how they're using TikTok thoughtfully, mindfully, or not at all. That gives me a lot to think about. Thanks for tuning into this longer story. I assume there is a lot more information to come.